Oh, hello YouTube. It's that time again. This is another episode of Drunk Classics. Today, I am reading Emma by Jane Austen. But before I start reading, let's go over the wine I'm going to be enjoying for this episode so far. And this is a rosé from Chateau de Clan. And this is from Provence in France. And Chateau de Clan it's very nice rosés. This one is like the dumbest name because it's Whispering Angel. It's a terrible wine name, Whispering Angel. But I feel like rosé goes with Emma. Am I right? I'm right. I don't know why I'm asking. I know I'm right. Oh, hello. Figured it's time to pause and check in because I'm starting glass number 2. So, Emma. So far, she's just a flaming narcissist. I mean, that's like the thing about Emma. Like, even Jane Austen herself has said that, like, this is a character ain't nobody gonna like. She's kind of the worst. And I'm like, she kind of is the worst. Like, she doesn't understand other people are people. She's like, oh, this is fun. No one's another person except for me. Like, she's a complete narcissist. So Emma, she's just like, you know what? I think I'm good at matchmaking. I'm gonna go do that because it amuses me. So she makes friends with this girl, Harriet, who kind of is like not as high-born as everyone else, but she's like really nice. And Emma's just like, oh, you're going to be my plaything because people aren't people to Emma. And so she's like, you know what? I'm gonna do my good deed. I'm gonna get Harriet married. I'm gonna find some guy and just stick her with him. And so she's like, oh, you know what? Mr. Elton. You should totally go for Mr. Elton. I'm a genius. Mr. Elton, he's like the vicar, I think. Like, so he's like part of the gentry, so he's kind of like higher born, I think, maybe than Harriet. And so she's like, oh, this is a good match. Like, go throw yourself at Mr. Elton. But Harriet's like, but what about like Mr. Martin? Like, he's really cool and like I like him a lot. And Emma's like, no, I don't care how much he can read. He's still a farmer. Harriet, she comes up to Emma because for some reason Harriet just is obsessed with Emma. She's like, oh, she's like the coolest person in the world and she's friends with me. Oh my gosh, this is the perfect person for a narcissist to like be friends with. And Harriet comes to Emma and she's like, oh my gosh, Mr. Martin, he sent me this letter. You need to read it. I'm too nervous. So Emma reads it and it's like actually like a really good letter and Emma's all pissed off. She's like, ugh, of course he would write a good letter. And he basically, he's asking Harriet to marry him. And very well. He's a very smart farmer. And Emma's just like, well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. And Harriet's like, but like, what do you want me to do? Because I'll do it. So basically, Harriet's like, I will not marry him. And Emma's like, perfect, that's the great decision. And Harriet's like, oh, okay, good. It's just such a toxic friendship. And Emma's just like also kind of jealous of it. She's like, oh, fine. Of course she would get a husband who writes a good letter. And she's just like picking, like, she's so fucking like narcissistic. I mean, yes, we're not supposed to like Emma. Emma's probably got a character growth arc. But the thing about Emma is that she's a very well-rounded character. Like, I fully understand Emma's thought process, how she feels about things, and what she's going to do next. Like, I know how she would react to situations. Like, say what you want. She's a spoiled little brat, but, like, her character is so like chef's kiss well done that I'm like appreciating just the talent here. So it's toxic. It's a toxic friendship. And poor Mr. Martin, he's just over there farming and being smart. He didn't do nothing to nobody. And Emma's just decided he's no good. So whatever. I don't know, there's Elton. She's like really trying to get Elton and Harriet together. But Elton is just like too flirty with Emma. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna end in tears. So yeah, it's just everybody likes everybody and the wrong person's like the wrong people and it's just like a whole hot mess and Emma's a narcissist. That's where we are. Let's keep going. Okay. So I'm on glass 3 or 4. I've been refilling without finishing the glass, so it's somewhere in there. But I also may have napped a bit because so little was happening so little. Like Emma's sister visited, I think, and then like they were talking about going to the beach. Like her family went to the beach, and then everybody got a cold, and now Harriet's got a cold, and she's like, "Hey, Elton, go over to Harriet and like be in love with her," and he's not doing it. And then Mr. Knightley is just like, "Emma, you dumb little girl, why are you doing this?" Because you know what, Mr. Martin, that farmer guy, he really, really liked her, and you made her say no. And then Elton, I don't think he likes this girl. I'm pretty sure he's trying to flirt with you, and you're too stupid to see it. Everything's going awry, and like, I don't know, I'm trying to have like fun with this, but frankly, so little is going on right now. Seriously, they had like a little party, her sister's visiting, and everyone got a cold. Like, nothing fun is happening. I have not had any gasps. I'm not gonna have any gasps about people sitting around at the party politely talking about their nose and like how they blew it that day. Okay, so it's official. Elton was totally into Emma. So they can leave this party, and Emma's getting in this carriage, right? And then Elton, he's like, I'm gonna get in this carriage with Emma, and she's like, oh no. And then like they're in the carriage, she's like, oh, maybe I'll talk about Harriet. And so they start talking, and of course he immediately is just like, I'm in love with you. Will we get married? And she's like, what? So yeah, Elton is like in love with Emma. He's like, you have been flirting with me, haven't you? And she's like, no, like I have no desire to get married right now. I don't know where you got that from. And he's just like, you have been talking to me like a lot. And she's like, yeah, about Harriet, you numbskull. So that's a very long, awkward carriage ride. If Mr. Knightley finds out he was right, like, he will never let it go. He would be like, oh really, Emma? Remember that time I told you Elton was flirting with you? And you're like, no. And then he totally was. So, everything's a hot mess. Okay, so I'm gonna stop reading for today. Mainly just because I'm drunk and I can't tell who anybody is anymore. Here's the skinny of what's happening. So there's this guy, Churchill, that Emma's interested in, because everyone's talking about Churchill all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy, he's like 23, he's super hot, abs for days, like everybody loves this guy. And Emma's just like, you know what, like I feel like he's like on my level. Like, so she's showing interest in this guy. She has not met him, and Knightley's just like, oh fucking that guy, like he's just like, man. So the whole Elton thing happened. He left. He's just like, I'm embarrassed. He left. He went somewhere. He went to another place. I don't remember where. And then, yeah, there's Churchill, who's like supposed to be really hot, and Emma's kind of like interested. Knightley is like suspiciously like talking shit about Churchill, so I'm thinking he's jealous maybe. And then there's this like person named Jane, I think. Ha ha ha, Jane Austen. But there's like this Jane lady in here that like the people are talking about her coming to town, and Emma's just like, oh, is this a new project? Bottom line, takeaways for first third of the book. Emma's a narcissist who doesn't understand that other people have feelings. Harriet is in a toxic friendship with her. She thinks Emma's the best, and Emma, of course, loves that. And that Elton is kind of like an idiot, I guess. I don't know. He's like, I'm in love with Emma, and Emma's like, no thank you. And he like ran away. And Knightley's like obviously kind of into Emma, but like doesn't want to admit it because also he's 16 years older than her. And everything's just like twisty-turny. Everybody's like in love with everyone, apparently. They should all just fuck each other. I don't know. So yes, I'm stopping. I will continue tomorrow with maybe like the second third of this book and like see where that goes. Welcome to day 2 of Drunk Classics Emma. I am getting ready to dig into today's helping of the story. I have one goal, and that's to get far less drunk than I did yesterday, because I was sloppy. I have not watched the footage I filmed, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot. All right, I'll check back in after I've read some. I'm already checking back in. I've only read like 2 chapters. There's this girl, Jane, who's come to town, and she's like an orphan. Her whole like thing in life is that she might get like a governess job. Like, she does not have a lot of prospects, but like she's pretty and nice and people like her. And people are like, oh, look at Jane, isn't she nice? And Emma's reaction is just like, isn't he nice? Like, she just hates her for no good reason. There's no reason to hate her. She's just like a nice girl who does nothing to Emma, but she gets attention, so Emma can't fucking stand her. The level of narcissism here is like astounding, frankly. Anyway, just a quick check-in on that one. So I'm just checking in, not because anything's happening in the book, because frankly, nothing is happening in this book. Literally nothing. But look who came to hang out with me. Is it Batman? Yes, it is. Yeah, so Batman's cuddling me. It is the 4th of July when I'm filming this, and there's a lot of fireworks. So Batman is displeased with all the noise. So he's cuddling me. His mother will protect him from fireworks. You know, I'm just going to stop for today. I didn't read as much as I thought I was going to read, but I did read a good chunk. I'm now like halfway through Emma. And frankly, like, it's the 4th of July. My poor dog, Batman's right here, just cuddling with his mother because he's worried. And also, so little is happening in this book that it's like, no amount of wine in the world can make it fascinating at this point. This is like that middle doldrums of the book where just like, it's insufferable. So here's like the skinny. Here's what's happening at the moment. Jane Fairfax, the orphan who's pretty, and Emma's just like meh about her. Like, someone gave her a piano, and everyone's like, who gave her the piano? Like, everyone's wondering who gave her this piano, because apparently not only is she like pretty, but she can play piano good and she can sing good. So like, Emma of course just can't stand her. Personally, I think it's gonna be Colonel Campbell, who is like okay, so Jane's an orphan, and Colonel Campbell was friends with her father before he died, and they've kind of like helped Jane out and like gave her money and made sure she was educated and all this stuff. So I'm thinking probably Campbell gave her the piano, but everyone's just like, but what if it's from a lover? And then someone has the audacity to say, hey Emma, do you think it was Mr. Knightley? Because like, he really likes her playing music. And Emma is just apoplectic. She's like, no, what? Mr. Knightley can't like her? Like, she just like is obviously like just freaking the F out about it. And then there's Churchill, who just showed up, and he's like, you know, Regency era hot boy. And he and Emma hang out a lot. And I think Emma's like low-key just like, I could get with Churchill, but Churchill, like, I don't feel like he's into Emma. Like, they are just like peas in a pod. I think they're more like friendly, just because the way he talks to her doesn't seem romantic. It's just like they're both kind of assholes, and they're just being assholes together. However, I'm going to make a prediction. I think Churchill likes Jane Fairfax. I'm saying it now. I'm making a prediction because he's also kind of like hinting at Jane sometimes. He's like, oh, is Jane here? Like, I know her from before. Like, we've met before. And he wants to go see Jane. And like, he's also talking about how well she plays and stuff. And he's like going way out of his way to like set up her piano for her. And I'm like, I think Churchill likes Jane. But there's like, you know, she's poor and an orphan. So like, are they gonna get together? I don't know. But like, that's my big prediction at the moment. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna call it for tonight. I'm halfway through the book. I made some progress, but like, I can't right now. I'm just like, I just need a break, you know? So it's day 3 of Emma. Originally, I thought I was going to read this in 3 days, and like, that's not gonna happen. I have a feeling this is gonna be like a 4 or 5 day book. Emma is just painfully dull at the moment. I want something to happen. And it's just bothering me, because, like, nothing's happening. And this is, Jane Austen, written in the Regency era. Nobody's even gonna fuck in this. And, like, I have to deal with so much just banter and nonsense for no smutty payoff. But anyway, here we go. I'm just gonna read some more of it today. Hopefully there's something happening, because right now, if I hear one more fucking thing about apples, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with myself. I haven't got that far yet. Okay. You know what? I swear, every time Emma is on page, like, I'm just experiencing like a villain track playing. She's just horrible. Okay, so remember Elton? So he's back with his new wife. So the new wife, she's like, meets Emma, and she's like very nice and welcoming, and she's like, oh, hello! I've heard so much nice things about you. I hear that, like, this is a very musical community. Maybe we could go hear music sometime. Like, she's just being so nice, and Emma's just can't fucking stand it. She just hates her. She hates her, like, so much, and, like, she has done nothing wrong. Here's the kicker in Emma's dislike of Mrs. Elton. Mrs. Elton eventually kind of gets sick of her shit and starts, like, being not so nice to her. She's like, like, I'm not into you. Like, I see you, you're a mean girl, and I don't like it. So she stops being so friendly, and she starts being really friendly to Jane Fairfax, who Emma is also a bitch to. So I feel like Miss Elton just has, like, Emma's fucking number. She's like, no, you're a mean girl, and I don't want to fuck with you, but Jane is very nice. And, like, Emma cannot stop dwelling on this. She's like, this fucking bitch. She hates me, and I'm the victim here. Like, she's just horrible. She's like, but I didn't do anything. I'm the victim. She's a horrible person for hating me and my behavior. Emma's like the villain you want to take down a peg. She's not the main character I want to, like, go through the story with. I'm really trying to like her, because, like, sometimes people have, like, bad sides to themselves, but maybe they're actually a good person deep down. But she really isn't. She's kind of just a piece of shit. And, like, the only people she likes is, like, Harriet and her dad, because both of them treat her like this magical unicorn on a pedestal all the time. She's just horrible. And, like, I have so much more of the book to read. It's gonna just be painful. All right, let's keep reading her villain, like, origin story. Okay, so I just need to take a break for tonight. Right now, I'm currently on, like, page 300 of 430 pages, so I don't have that much left, but, like, I'm so fucking bored. Like, it's painful how bored I am. Like, wine doesn't even help. Like, no amount of wine can make me less bored with this book. Here's what's happened. A whole lot of nothing, and Emma being just a brat and horrible, and then they have a party. The Eltons, Mr. and Mrs. Elton. They have this party, and everyone really likes Mrs. Elton. You wanna know why? Because she's fucking friendly, okay? And she and Elton and Mrs. Elton, they are kind of mean to Harriet at the party. Like, Mr. Elton won't dance with her, and it's like they both snub her and stuff. And so Emma is just, fuck all y'all bitches. Like, she's very upset. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with Harriet? And doesn't have, like, the forethought to think maybe they don't like Harriet because she's your fucking friend, and they don't like you, Emma. That's the thing. Elton and Mrs. Elton don't fucking like you. You suck. Since Harriet's your little lackey, they don't like her by association, but she has, like, no thought process of this, obviously. But, Mr. Knightley, Mr. Grumpy Pants shows up, and he's just like, okay, Harriet, let's go dance. Like, he's just being nice to her, because, like, Harriet didn't do anything in this. She's just young and dumb, and just, very easily, influenced by things. I still think Knightley and Emma are gonna hang out. Like, they're gonna get together, because Knightley's the only guy in this book who doesn't find her fucking insufferable. But she's like, oh, this guy Churchill? Okay, Harriet. I'll put Churchill and Harriet together. She's just like matchmaking anybody. She has like no thought process of any of this. So now she's like on this Churchill and Harriet thing. She's like, how do I get them together? How do I do this? And then after this party, like Harriet's like going home and she gets accosted by like a group of people and they try to rob her, and Churchill like saves her from the robbers. And so Harriet's like very overcome with this, obviously, you know, like she just got robbed. And Emma, this is like peak narcissist behavior, because Emma doesn't think like, oh my gosh, are you all right? This is my friend who got hurt. She's like, how do I use this to my advantage? Like that's her first fucking thought of any of this. She's just like, oh, Churchill saved her. How do I use this for flirtation purposes? How do I get them together? How would this benefit me? She doesn't have one thought for her friend, and like, oh, are you all right? It never crosses her mind because she's just the fucking worst. That's where I am right now. And honestly, like this book is just fucking just exhausting to read, and I still have like 130 pages of this book left. Like this is like endurance training now, but I'm just gonna be nice to myself and stop reading for tonight. I'm done for now. All right, hello again. It is day 4 of Emma. I just have to like get it done. I gotta rally. I gotta get it all done today. This is the day. It's happening. I can't spend any more days reading this thing. I'm all out of rosé, so today I'm having a Puy Fusé. This is from Burgundy. It's a Chardonnay-based wine, but this Chardonnay-based wine is actually delicious because it's not buttery. Like a lot of Chardonnays have that buttery taste, which I am not into. This one's really bright and acidic, has like lemon and grapefruit taste and like floral notes. It's really delicious, so I recommend trying it out. I'm just hoping like this gets me through Emma, because Emma's horrible. She's a complete narcissist. And I feel low-key this is a villain origin story. All right, I'm just gonna start reading and I will check back in when I need to. The end of chapter 43. Let's just unpack some stuff. Everybody, all these like country gentry people, they all went to this place and they're hanging out in a summer day. They're just doing, you know, oh, we're rich people stuff, you know, being weird. And then Churchill is like all besties with Emma, and then he's just making mischief everywhere, and that's why they get along. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. So Miss Bates, Emma's old like governess, who was like part of the family. She loved Miss Bates, and Miss Bates went off and got married. And so they're all at the party, and Churchill's like, hey, everybody go around the room and just say something interesting. And Miss Bates was kind of just like, oh, well, you know, I'll try to endeavor. And basically Emma just like insults her in front of everybody, because here's the thing, Miss Bates like overtalks quite a bit. And she kind of just like said something snide about it in front of everybody. So Miss Bates was obviously very hurt by it. To everyone in the room noticed this except for Emma, because she doesn't know anyone else's feelings. And so when they're leaving, Mr. Knightley, he's like, Emma, what is wrong with you? Like he just like lays into her. And I've got to read you this sentence. How could she have been so brutal, so cruel to Miss Bates? How could she have exposed herself to such ill opinion in anyone she valued? And how suffer him to leave her without saying one word of gratitude or concurrence or common kindness? She's like, I'm mad at Knightley for pointing out that I'm an asshole. Like, oh my gosh. I don't know if it's trying to be self-aware or not. Like, I can't tell anymore, but that's just like classic manipulative behavior. Oh my gosh. Like, I've said this before, but seriously, I feel like this is a villain origin story. Like, if there was Emma 2, I think someone would eat the last scone and she would murder them. Like, that's where this is going. I can't see her becoming a better person. Like, I think she's just gonna start murdering people next. I don't know. She doesn't have feelings for anyone else. Oh, bitch. Oh. Okay, so I called some stuff. So, Churchill. I was saying earlier, he was making eyes at Jane. He was making eyes at her, and he was, because they are engaged secretly, and he ran off after her because Jane was having like a whole nervous breakdown, and she was like, I'm gonna go be a governess, and he's like, no, and he's like chasing her down. So he's doing that whole like romantic grand gesture adventure, whatever. But Emma was trying to set Churchill up with Harriet. And so she's like, ah, shit, I gotta go tell Harriet that he ran off with Jane. So Harriet comes over and she's like, oh my gosh, did you hear? Churchill ran away with Jane. And she's like not upset about it. And she's like, this is odd. Emma's like, didn't you like love Churchill? And she's like, oh, that bitch? No. So no one liked him really. And Harriet's just like, no, I like Knightley. And Emma has like a rage stroke. Oh, because Emma is just like, but Knightley is mine. Like, I feel like the serial killer music is slowly building in the background. Like, she's just gonna grab like a letter opener and just like kill her. Like, she didn't steal a scone, but she did steal her man. So she's gonna get a letter opener to the jugular. So Emma's just like, how dare? Like, she is like insane with like having a rage stroke about it. She's like inconsolable. And like she's not even just like examining her own feelings very much. She's like, how can Harriet think she's good enough for Knightley? Like, she is like a dirt lady. Like, she's just like all her friendship is gone. She's like, she's a dirt lady and I don't know why she thinks she's good enough for him. Ew. She is just like on a rampage. And I'm like, oh my gosh. She's gonna stab her in the jugular. It's just, how bloody is the ending of this book? Again, I'm killing it with predictions. So Knightley, he comes back to town because he just heard about Churchill and Jane running off together. And he's just like, oh gosh, Emma must be devastated because everyone thought like Emma was into him. So he goes and he's just like, what a dick. Do you want me to punch him in the face? Because I'll like punch him in the face for you. Like, he's just all like righteously angry on her behalf. And she's like, bruh, like, no, it's cool. Like, I wasn't that into him, you know? He was just like fun to flirt with. And he's just like, oh, thank God. Like, so they have this whole thing. And eventually he's just like, okay, so I'm totally fucking in love with you. And she's like, really? So she's also like, you know what? Like, I'm totally into you too. I wasn't expecting it. He's like, neither was I. But the thing is, I still have like 50 pages of the book left. They're all happy and in love. But I got 50 pages of the book left. How are they gonna fuck it up? I don't know. We'll find out. I have finished Emma. I powered through those last 50 pages. I rallied and I drank a lot of wine. Like, I have no idea how many glasses I drank. I just kept refilling. And then now I realize, oh no, I'm drunk. I wasn't paying attention to being drunk. And then I was like, oh no, I've gone too far. Okay, so let's go over these last 50 pages. So, Emma and Knightley, they're like a thing. They're doing it. However, I made a note that Knightley was just like, you know, like, I've liked you for a while. I remember when you were 13 when I met you, and I was like into you and your saucy looks, and I was like, what? Okay, Knightley is close to 40 right now. Emma's like in her early 20s, so like, let's just say like about 7 years ago or so they met. He was still 30 and she was 13, and he was just like, damn, that's a hot 13-year-old. What the fuck, Knightley? Like, it gave me pause. Like, I am very drunk right now. And you know what? I still thought that it was fucked up he was into a 13-year-old. However, Emma's just like, but like my dad though, because her dad is kind of like dopey, and like she's like, I can't leave my dad. He's just a dope. He'll like just wither without me. And I'm like, it's kind of true, like, honestly. And Knightley's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll just move in here. Like, it's cool. Like, I get it. Your dad is a dope. Like, I'll move in here. Don't worry about it. We're good. So I'm like, all right. It's weird that she wanted to fuck her when she was 13, but it's nice of you to move in to help out with her dad. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not forgiving the 13-year-old thing, but that was cool, I guess. Now everybody's finding out about Emma and Knightley, and Emma's like worried about Harriet. Like, I think she genuinely does like Harriet. mainly because Harriet, like, hero worships her. But she's like, I don't want to be, like, excessively mean to Harriet, because I know she was, like, into Knightley. But, like, anyway, everyone finds out, and, like, Mrs. Elton is just like, oh my gosh, poor Mr. Knightley. Is he okay? Does he need help? Do we need to rescue him? Because she fucking hates Emma. Speaking of Harriet, though, they have this, like, their friend reconciliation. Harry's like, you know what, it's okay. Don't worry about it. They find out later she married the farmer. Remember the farmer from the beginning of the book? Mr. Martin? He asked Harriet to marry her, and he's, like, a really smart farmer. He's a farmer who reads a lot of books, and he's just like, Harriet, you should marry me. She just flitted about from dude to dude, and then she's like, you know what? Come here, Farmer John. I don't remember if his name was John or not, but, like, he's Farmer John to me, Mr. Martin. Back to Emma's dad. Emma's dad was just like, hey, I am not into you getting married to him because, like, I want your attention. They're very codependent on each other, Emma and her dad. And then, like, this is the very last page of the book, and it was so weird because they make note that, like, someone stole their neighbor's turkeys. I know. The neighbor had a bunch of turkeys, and someone stole them, and her dad's like, oh my word. Emma, you gotta lock down Knightley so he'll move in here and protect us from turkey thieves, I guess. I don't think he has any turkeys, but he's just like, oh my word, there's thieves? Emma, use your vagina. You gotta lock this down. We need a strapping young man around here to protect us from thievery. So on that note, turkey thievery, I have finished Emma. Did I like it? I think it's obvious that I hate Emma. Like, by the end of the book, does she have, like, a slight bit of humanity and, like, kinda is nice? Like, a little, but, like, honestly, no. Like, I feel like she's equally just as, like, terrible. She doesn't want to be excessively mean to Harriet. It's like, wow, gold medal for you that you don't want to be excessively an asshole. Way to do the bare minimum. Anyway, I am thinking that I am going to make myself macaroni and cheese because that is great drunk food. And, like, rest because, you know what, I have been having a night, but I'm finally done with Emma. So yay for me. I am done. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you read Emma? And if so, did you like it? Did you not like it? What are your thoughts? Or, hey, do you have recommendations for future episodes of Drunk Classics? Leave them in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.